Welcome home to St. Anne's. We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
So welcome. Okay, so here's how this works. All week long it is 60 degrees here in Lee Summit. And then Saturday night, it drops by 30 degrees. So I was very, very nervous last night. I was very nervous. I really thought, oh my gosh, I don't know if we're going to be able to be out here. I'm really worried. And some of you may recall last week when, we got blown away. So I was very, very concerned. And then I got out of the car this morning and it's gorgeous. Of course, it's supposed to be 60 degrees this week again, so, it's not 60 degrees out here, but it's definitely beautiful. So if you are gutsing it out here with us and taking that gamble every Sunday morning, God bless you. There's reward for you somewhere. I don't know where, but I hope it has hot chocolate involved in it. So this Sunday for us here at St. Anne's is St. Nicholas Sunday. We celebrate St. Nicholas here on December 6th. And so, and actually this year fell on the Sunday in which we celebrate it. So on this Sunday, I usually talk a little bit about St. Nicholas, who he was, and why does that matter? Because some of you have learned that I'm this weird hybrid that was educated in Roman Catholicism. So I know a lot about the saints, but I'm an Episcopalian and I'm incredibly low church, and I wouldn't argue evangelical per se, but very, very Protestant. So the saints for me are a really important thing, and yet not quite where we go with Roman Catholicism. So I like to talk about some of the saints because I think they're very, very important. And St. Nicholas is the saint of all the saints. Everybody wants St. Nicholas to be their patron saint. He's literally the patron saint of everything. Like, I'm not even kidding you. Everything. If you research him, he's patron saint of, and there have always been these big fights about where his bones are. Like, people, go in the night and steal his bones and then move them over here. So the man is literally scattered all over the world. And it's kind of gross because supposedly his bones, ooze this myrrh manna stuff, which is really, isn't that gross? That is gross. So who here doesn't want to be a saint? No, because you don't want your body parts all over the world, and you don't want your bones oozing weird stuff in some basilica somewhere. That's nasty. Anyway, he's the patron saint of everybody. Now, the big story about him that is commonly known is, correct me if you've heard this somewhere before, but how the story goes about St. Nicholas, or one of the many, many stories about him, but the one that really gets our attention around this time of year, is there were 3 daughters. It's hard for me to make a 3 with gloves on, but there were 3 daughters. A poor man had 3 daughters. And at this time, I guess I should tell you the time period in which Nicholas is active. So he was probably the 300s, so very, very early church. 300s, roughly what is in modern day Turkey. At the time it was Mira or whatever. So very early church, early bishop. That's not nearly as interesting as the weird stuff they did in his bones oozing weird stuff. So, little children over here, I can call them out because some of them are mine. Caroline Elsa Rhodes. It is church time. You should be quiet. If your mom has to call you out during the sermon, you're too loud. All right, we're back on. Okay. I know it doesn't pay to be a preacher kid, does it? So he's active at this time, and correct me if you've heard this story before, but kind of how it goes is there's a poor man, he has 3 daughters, and he really needs a dowry, because at the time, if you don't have a dowry and you can't pay somebody to marry you, you're probably going to end up in prostitution. That's not a good thing. And you can imagine that the bishop in the area thinks that that is not a good thing. He does not want that to happen, but he knows that the man is very, very proud, and he's not going to take money or anything that he can to help him. So he goes in the middle of the night on a huge white stallion, because what bishop wouldn't have a huge white stallion? I mean, if I'm a bishop, I want a huge white stallion. I'm just saying. Good thing I'm not in line for bishop, right? Because nobody wants me to have a huge white horse. But anyway, so he goes in all of his regalia. Have you seen the artwork? He's got all the regalia. He's got this huge, beautiful horse. And in the dark of night, he goes by their house. And there's an open window, because why wouldn't there be an open window? In some stories, there's an open window. In some stories, there's just, a fireplace with a chimney. Weird, right? And at the time, you got to hand wash your stockings, which is another word for socks, tights, and whatnot. So the girls have washed their stockings, tights, socks, whatnot. And where else would you hang them to dry but by the fireplace? Because that's simply logical. So their stockings are hung by the fireplace with care. Because why wouldn't they be? And the bishop rides by on his beautiful horse and does this 3 nights in a row. Now, there are multiple stories. Some people say it was gold coins. Some people say it was a gold ball, similar looking to an orange perhaps. And he rides by on his little horse, and he throws them in because he really probably should play for the Royals, because he can throw from his horse in through the window, down the chimney, whatever, into the stocking, socks, whatever, hung by care by the fireplace, in hopes that they'll dry there. I know, I'm a poet. You guys are so excited you came out this morning, aren't you? Okay, so this happens 3 nights, and he makes sure that the girls have money to have dowries, and so he saves them. Here's the fascinating thing, though. He does it in secret. And this is what's so, so very important about the message of Advent and Christmas at this time, and why I think St. Nicholas is so very, very important to you and I. I can tell you all sorts of weird stories about him. He's got great stories. I recommend that when you go home and you're waiting for that Chiefs game, you got nothing to do this afternoon, because the rest of football is stupid. Only the Chiefs matter. You do some trolling on the internet, and you read some stories about St. Nicholas, because there's some fascinating, weird, creepy stories about him. But this is the good one. So, he does it in secret. And all of his miracles and all these things that he does, they're always in secret. And I want us to hear the importance of kindness and love done without attention. Because it's not that loving, and it's not that impressive, and it's not that kind if what you do to get attention for it, or you do it to get credit for it. Love that is true love is when you do something and you know there's going to be nothing in return. It doesn't matter if I'm nice to you and I know that because you know that I've been nice to you, you're going to have to be nice to me back. Because that is love and kindness in return. That's not real love and kindness at all. But generosity and love that expects nothing in return and is done in a way that it cannot be returned, that is the true Christian love that you and I are called to. And that is the power of St. Nicholas. And that's what I want us to hear, because that is what we are called to do in this season, and frankly all the time. Because Christianity knows no season. We just pay extra special attention to it right now. But we are called as Christians to love and be kind and generous and serve regardless of it being noticed. And in fact, more so that it not be noticed, because there is no reward if we've already gotten the reward for it. It doesn't matter. It is not true love and generosity and care and kindness if we're getting something for it. So I challenge all of us, always this, but especially this week, because we're honoring St. Nicholas, I want you to do something kind in secret. I want you to do something, and I will do it too. I commit to doing this myself, that we all commit to finding a way to be kind and loving and generous in which we get nothing in return. Nothing good happens to St. Nicholas because of his kindness to these people. In fact, I'll be honest, I don't want to be scattered my bones everywhere oozing weird stuff. That is not what I want. He gets nothing in return for being kind and generous and loving, but the joy of knowing that he has made a difference in the lives of other humans, of the rest of God's creation. So I challenge all of us this week, do something for the love of God's creation in which we get nothing in return.
We want you to know that you're welcome to join us at 10 a.m. on Sundays. Please be sure to hit subscribe to receive our sermons. We can't wait to meet you.
Hold on, it takes me a minute to get all my assembly. I come some